Rhetoric: what is it and why do we care? A summary of Chapter 30 and some tools to help you practice rhetoric. Apparently, America doesn't argue like it used to. I know. How is it that one of the most argumentative countries in the world doesn't argue like it used to? Well, luckily, the author will tell you all about it. He will also tell you about how he is the worst playing partner in America. He lectured the woman next to him about rhetoric. Here's the deal: we steal everything here. We stole rhetoric, and that helped us form government. Shout out to Greece and Rome for that.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
If you have questions about government, ask Miss Cassolari. Basically, between the Greeks and the Romans, everyone's favorite historical figure, Alexander Hamilton, we've gotten rhetoric from the get-go. And the best example of arguments comes from kids. But more importantly, here are some tools that can help us learn how to use rhetoric better in everyday life. One example is "on the other hand." On the other hand is basically saying, oh, I think grass is great. On the other hand is also itchy. Here's an example from arguably the best Marvel movie to date.
Yeah, Banner's powerful and useful too.
Is he though?
Okay, how many PhDs does Hulk have? 0. How many PhDs does Banner have? 7.
Argument volley is basically the same thing as on the other hand, except dragged out longer. Here's an example from Fiddler on the Roof.
He's beginning to talk like a man. On the other hand, what kind of a match would that be with a poor tailor? On the other hand, he's an honest, hard worker. But on the other hand...
Framing! Another one. This is a lot like volleying, but rather than going back and forth, it's an attempt to make an entire new argument. For example, saying every boy should play football to build character, and reframing it by saying, is this about building character, or is this about your love for football? One example is when we all went around roasting each other, making our friends cry in the name of entertainment.
I'm John. I claim I'm independent, but I still ask my mom for gas money.
Fool on a hill is when one person makes an argument that seems completely outlandish, but they just roll with it.
It is not wet. And not until you take the fish out and expose to air, now it is wet. But if you are surrounded by water, you're not wet. Water is wet! If you're around water, you're wet. Who's saying? If you're surrounded by water, you're not wet. The same way we're surrounded by air.
I'm surrounded by air. I'm not dry. That's what you're saying.
You're dry.
Okay.
You're dry.
Yo, bro, ask the question again.
If you're surrounded by air in a cup and pour the water on top of you, no matter how little bit of water gets on you, you are now considered wet.
Documentaries use rhetoric all the time, so if you go and watch one, make sure you see how the filmmaker uses it throughout.
You understand me? One thing about a lizard, I think he a Geico. If he a Geico, he got a 15% chance of making it up out of here.
Advertising. We're all familiar with it. Who is the intended audience, and how does the ad use ethos, pathos, and logos?
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he stopped using lady-scented body wash and switched to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat with the man your man could smell like. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamond. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
Old Spice is perfect because he's very attractive and we want our man to look like that. On the other hand, see what I did there? By the very end, we're super confused and don't really know what to think. Rhetoric is in everything around us, whether we notice it or not. It controls a lot of what we do, like capitalism. We might not notice it, but just if you look around, you will see just how important it is to our everyday lives.